Hi everyone, it's Natalie and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you all a very belated book haul. I haven't filmed a book haul for neither March nor April, and mostly it's because I didn't get as many books, so I was like, why film a book haul if there's not that much to talk about? But finally, it's happening. I'm bringing it to you all, sharing both what I've hauled from the library and what I've bought for myself. Full disclosure, most of what I've gotten is digital, both because, of the coronavirus and also because I was trying to limit the things that I've been purchasing lately. So mostly you'll just see a bunch of pretty pictures right here beside me while I talk about the books. As always, I will divide this between the books that I've purchased for myself and then talk about the library books. So let's start with the books that I purchased. The first one is Into This River I Drown by T.J. Klune. In this book, we're following our main character Benji, who is grieving the loss of his father. It's been about 5 years since his father has passed away, but that is still causing him a lot of sadness, and he's basically in a deep depression. And so his guardian angel comes down to earth to help him out. And so it's basically the romance that develops between our main character Benji and the angel. There's a bunch of other stuff going on there as well, drugs and other things, but you already know about that if you watch my video all about this book and another of TJ Klune's books. So I'll just have in the cards above a link to that so that you can watch it if you want to. The next book is Codename Parody by Elizabeth Wayne. In this novel, we're in World War II and we're following a spy and a pilot. And it's the story about the friendship of both of these characters and what happens to them during this war. Because the spy is captured and she's trying to protect the life of the pilot. I didn't mention before, but I got Into This River I Drown as an audiobook, and I also got this one, Codename Parody, as an audiobook. I've gotten a lot of audiobooks lately, so get used to that. This book I also talked about more in detail in my Owls Readathon wrap-up, so I will leave that in the cards up above if you really want to know my feelings on it, but I didn't like it, and that's all I'm saying here. The next book is Lament by Maggie Stiefvater. I have no way of explaining this book to you. I have no idea what it's about. I got it because it's Maggie Stiefvater and she's one of my favorite authors, and also because I've been trying to hit her backlist and I wasn't sure if I would be picking up this book physically, so I decided to go the audiobook route. But all I know is that it has fairies. Apart from fairies, I have no answers for you. I am looking forward to reading it though, so hopefully I get around to that soon. The next book I bought is actually one I own physically, and it's Eyes Bottle Dark with a Mouthful of Flowers by Jake Skeets. This is a poetry collection. Once again, I already read this. I read it for the Owls, so you can go see my thoughts on this one and Codename Parody in that video. But this was an excellent poetry collection. I really enjoyed it, and that's all I'm gonna say about it because there's really not much for me to say. Just know that I would definitely recommend picking this up. The next book, I finally, after over a month waiting for it, I got it physically in the mail. I was so happy because it's sad. I'm sad that I wasn't able to go to my TJ Klune event, but it happens with all this coronavirus shit. It was bound to be canceled, but at least I'm happy that I finally have in my hands The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. In this book, we're following our main character, Linus, who is a caseworker for the Department of Magical Youth. Essentially, he goes to orphanages with children that have magical abilities to make sure that they're being run properly and that the children aren't being harmed in any way. In the book, we follow Linus as he goes into a very secret orphanage that not many people know about because the children there are like the most sensitive cases. They're the ones that are the most frightening. And so he's there to make sure that the man running the orphanage is doing things right. And it's about the relationship he develops with the children there and the man who runs the orphanage. It's hella fucking cute. I love this book. I want to have another copy of this book just for the hell of it, just for fun, just because I want to. So I've been trying to resist and be happy with this copy because honestly there's no reason for me to have a second copy of this exact same book with nothing different about it. I just want it for the aesthetic. But anyway, if you want to know my full thoughts on this book, I have a spoiler-free review that I will link up above in the cards for you to check out. But overall, I'm really happy to finally have this physically in my hands. The next book I got is Dark Dawn by J. Kristoff. I can't really tell you much about this book because one, it's the third book in a trilogy, so obviously you don't really want to know what's happening in this third book, and two, I haven't started the audiobook of this yet, so I can't actually tell you what happens in it because I have no idea. But in the first book, we're following our main character, Mia, who is training to be an assassin in order to avenge the death of her family. And so we're just following her journey as she tries to make that happen. I read God's Grave, the second book, recently. Once again, I have a video up talking about it, so I will leave that up in the cards above. The last book I got for myself in this book haul is A Conjuring of Light by Victoria Schwab, or V.E. Schwab, whatever. This is the last book in the Shades of Magic trilogy. Mostly I got this as an audiobook because I have been postponing reading this last book for ages and I want to get through it at long last. So I thought that getting it as an audiobook would get me a step closer to doing that, especially since that trick worked with the Nevernight trilogy. The only problem here is that I actually enjoyed Nevernight, but I am so disappointed with the Shades of Magic trilogy. The second book, what was it called? I don't even know how that motherfucker is called, but I didn't like it one bit, so that has made me not want to pick up this last book. It's been like 2 years since I read the second book. I don't know. I don't have answers for you. But essentially, in the first book, A Darker Shade of Magic, we're following two main characters. One of them, Kel, can travel between Londons because in this world, there are parallel universes, essentially, parallel Londons, and they're all divided by how much magical abilities or how much magic they have. Our main character, Kel, comes from Red London, which has magic and is very strongly magical. Our second main character, Lilac, comes from Grey London, which has no magic at all. It's basically our normal human world. There's also Black London, which was overrun by magic and it was basically destroyed by it. And there's another one, I don't remember. Is it White London? Is White London the one where there's some magic, but it's almost not there? I don't remember anymore because, as I said, it's been a hot minute since I was in this world. But whatever, that's more or less what's going on. Actually, that doesn't tell you anything about the story. We're following those two main characters as they try to do shit. I don't know. I don't want to explain it more. Let's move on to the books that I got from the library. The first one is Pip Bartlett's Guide to Magical Creatures by Maggie Stiefvater and some man. I got this as an audiobook, and in it we're following our main character who can speak to animals, but no one believes that she can. And essentially we're just following her shenanigans as she goes to stay with her aunt because she got into some trouble at her school. Since I already read this a little while ago, I already have, you know what, a video talking about it, so I will link that somewhere. If I can't put more cards, then I will link that in the description below. But generally, this was really cute. I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to picking up the rest of this series so I can have a very lighthearted read during these times. The next audiobook I got was Cantoras by Carolina de Robertis. This is a historical fiction novel where we're in Uruguay and it's about these group of women who come together and become friends and sometimes even lovers, and the way they try to make a space for themselves as queer women, as women who love women. There's a bit more going on since there's a lot of political uncertainty and tension in Uruguay at this time that the novel takes place in, but it's a character-driven novel, so I think that's more than enough for you to know to decide if you want to pick it up for yourself or not. Just know I loved it, and yes, I have a video talking about it. The last book I got from the library that I'm going to be talking about in this book haul is How to Be Remy Cameron by Julian Winters. I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100% sure. I don't know anything about this novel because I just picked this up randomly because I thought maybe I would get around to reading it. I didn't, but I do want to because this is an author that I want to pick up his works. He seems to be writing things that I would really enjoy, but I just never get around to actually reading his stuff. Will it happen? Hopefully. Anyway, that's it for today's video. I know it was kind of a hot mess, but I was just trying to go through the motions just to have this to look back on later. Either way, I still hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know down in the comments below any books that you've gotten recently. I sure know that I'm very much looking forward to making a big book purchase very, very soon. I'm so excited. So please let me know of any questionable or fun book purchases that you've made recently. I really want to know. Also, if you would like to follow me on any of my social media, I will leave the links to that down below in the description. But for now, see you next time.